Okay, we are live. Adjust some audio. Get my ceremonial drink. And also, reveal today's stream guest, Mr. Atop the Mountains. Okay, so sorry for missing the stream earlier this week. It has been extremely hectic, multiple power outages, and with the snowstorm that has been sweeping across most of the south and east coast, had to do a lot of preparatory work. Even like today, like I think I managed to like wake up, get a workout in, and then spent just hours just outside looking for all my sprinkler heads and trying to like wrap them up and make sure everything doesn't explode because Texas is not built to handle the cold. Kind of like when I was in Denver, I was kind of hoping I'd get away from it, but even before then, we had those snowpocalypses that just kept coming back and back, like right after COVID ended. So you can't really catch a break anywhere, I don't think. But it is pretty crazy times as is. So me having to get cold and put up my sprinklers is not the worst that things could be. So everything's good. Today's going to be pretty chill. I have a stream format that I want to start moving forward with that requires a bit more setup on my end. Like, kind of like one of the end goals is for this to be more of like a feeder just for some YouTube videos. So even if I don't, or even if I get behind on some of my like actual film and normal content type of things, I'd be able to clip from here and it wouldn't really be as like big of a hurdle to keep consistent content. I didn't realize that would require a lot of extra work, and me not being someone who really like watches a lot of streamers to begin with, there's a lot of research that I have to do, mainly just kind of deciding like what I want to talk about like beforehand, kind of coming up with like rough takes and trying them out here is kind of what I imagine it. Also with me like trying to get better at art, I'm definitely not at that level where I can start like speed painting or something and just awe people with my raw fantasy skill. It's coming along, but it will be a while before I get to that level. Hey, welcome, welcome. So yeah, like I was saying, it's gonna be pretty chill. I haven't quite decided if I want to do any artsy things or not. I did see a few people playing Megabonk online, and it looked super fun. So I figured we would try that out today, just because I don't think I have any like awesome fantasy takes that I really want to share. The one thing that I did read that was pretty cool was I finished the new Dresden Files book, 12 Months, and James Marsters just like absolutely killed it. I love him as a audio narrator, and it's kind of like a nice break from some of my like lit RPG books that I've been doing. With the sheer production value of some of these, just having like a guy like kind of like the guy who does the Stormlight Archives. Just having like one person, no effects, just deliver a really good performance was cool, and picking up off like battlegrounds and everything. If you haven't like seen the Dresden Files, it's like I forget which book we're even on, but it's like somewhere between like 17 and 19. But the last two books before this were just this giant like mess almost, just Marvel Endgame style everything happening, but just one character constantly like getting kicked down. So this book was more of like a breather. Not really too familiar with the Dresden Files format. Normally it's like each book takes place over like one weekend. That's kind of like the worst weekend for Harry Dresden ever. And it keeps kind of escalating to worse and worse. This one was actually spread out over a year, and I'm kind of interested because they released an anthology that was supposed to follow like that big battle at the end of the Battleground book, like kind of shows. So I'd be curious to see how that lines up with this latest one. But this one, like the title, kind of takes place like collection of stories over it of him kind of like healing and dealing with trauma, and it was it was good. It felt like a return to form, but definitely heavier than I was expecting. But I haven't like reread the Dresden Files or been in that universe for a while, so really good. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with it. I think Jim Butcher was saying, yeah, the next book, Mirror Mirror, should come out a lot faster than the delay for this one. And I know he personally was probably going through like a super rough time. I think he got like divorced and had a bunch of other things happening. So it's cool to see him back like writing, and just with that book being his return, it just felt very like cathartic, I think, for everyone involved. But other than that, I have a giant stack of books that I will be getting through. Reaper's Gale, still working my way through it. But I have also put up a few books in the Cyberpunk universe, which is kind of interesting. I really enjoyed the game and the storytelling with it, so it's cool to see them actually like expanding out that universe. And they have like a collection of like novels to graphic novels. Not sure of the quality yet. Something I have realized for me is that if I am physically reading it, I can get through way more garbage than if I had to listen to it. So while I don't have like super high expectations for this universe outside of the graphic novels, just for like the writing, seeing some of like the reviews on it, I think it will be pretty interesting. And more for me, this is one of those like I just want to see like the world building and explore more things that like the game couldn't really cover. I mean, that game was just a hot mess when it was released, and just so much build up and development time. It makes sense. Even things like, okay, you have fully cybernetic people, or you can like upload your consciousness into like a death robot. It's like, why are you just seeing humanoid forms? Why don't you see like arachnid spider monster people using that to like blow missiles and everything? Stuff you saw more in that animation Edge Runners, and trying to rig a 3D model to make all that happen is just like a nightmare, which makes a bit more sense. So I'm really curious what they're gonna do with like the books and the comics. But I have that and the entirety of Red Rising with Red God on the way. I want to get caught back up on that. And then I never read the latest Stormlight Archives book, so I want to do like a complete reread of that. I was saying the Cosmere now is up to something like 50 books, so it might be worth trying to just tear my way through all of that. I will see, because those are some thick books, and maybe I won't do all of them, but it was kind of like that. Same thing with Stephen King's Dark Tower universe. It'd be amazing to do like the recommended reading of just like everything that happens, but then you're basically having to dedicate like 6 months to a whole year of just like dedicated Stephen King. So I'll have to figure out some rotation for how I want to get through that. But with this latest Dresden Files, I feel like I've finally broken back into like normal fantasy again. It's kind of nice to like get out of the progression fantasy lit RPG slop that I've been kind of stuck in. The other thing I guess that's kind of cool is there's this guy named Sandre Berg. Let me see if I can pull up his stuff if you don't know it. I saw him because I like to rock climb, and there's this YouTuber who's like a professional, or he was like a professional climber at like a very high level. And he had him on his channel just to see like how would someone like really good at like calisthenics and acrobatics do and like climbing. And the guy's just like a complete monster at everything, but he had a training app, which normally I'm pretty wary of most training apps. Like, I watch Dr. Mike Israel and a bunch of other fitness influencers, and I never really want to pay for that because like the way they do their programming I'm not a fan of. But strangely enough, like calisthenics programming, at least on his app, seems to be pretty cool, and kind of like a focus on like handstands, different acrobatic movements, tricking. There's a whole backflip tutorial, but this is, if I can get my actual thing. This is the dude's channel. This Berg movement is the thing that he does. Just super wholesome. Let me see if he has some shorts, but has like a lot of just kind of like handstand type like content and balance stuff. So I'm like a few days into let me pause this. So just kind of like cool, just out of the like thing training type of things, and I was kind of getting stuck on like what progressions and stuff I wanted to do, because like, okay, I can do a handstand for 10 seconds. It's like, how do I get from that to like some of that crazy stuff? And I am so small. I don't have any like sponsorships or anything, but if somehow Sandra Berg's like watching this and wants to pay for my membership, then I am definitely down for that. But the dude's a complete monster. It's like doing a handstand push-up's crazy, doing an explosive one, but I guess this is kind of like his app plug. But so far, it's really good. They had a tricking one, which I thought was cool. Actually, it's kind of funny. I thought I had gotten just completely fleeced on this app, because it has like, okay, like move through these like progressions, and like everything was at level 1, which is like, I can do level 1. That's why I got this app. Show me how to do more. And turned out there was like a little button you push that then takes you like, okay, if you can do this, move to that. I had like a delayed email for like how to do that, but once I figured out all that, it's been pretty sick. And then like the workouts are kind of long, but they build in like flexibility, balance, some play. I was in the garage this morning and semi-freezing, trying to like do the Superman push-ups, where you like push up and like fully extend your arms and legs off the ground, trying not to eat shit. But it's like, oh, you want to do that? Here's like the clapping. Oh, you can do like this many clapping, switch to like touching your knees in the middle of the air, or like doing this. So everything like makes a lot of sense. And it's like, oh, can you do this calisthenics like lever for like a minute in the course of like 3 tries? Cool, now move to like this lever. Damn, dude. I have been on a Ansible kick. That's been kind of like the main thing, because at work everyone doesn't know if they want to like keep things and like Jenkins CI or move to GitLab runners, but then they're also talking about like moving to Amazon and using their like built-in stuff. So knowing whatever happens is going to be a big headache for me. I've been just writing playbook after playbook, trying to like make it where I can just import those wherever I go. And it has went from like, ooh, Ansible's fun and cool, to like, please stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm hoping eventually I will have so many playbooks written and customizable that I can just use like any number of like things for everything, and I can go back to like doing nothing at work, but not quite there. Oh, and the other kind of cool thing I found, let me look this guy up. And get into this. Share. I'm trying to like better organize my stuff that I am working on. So like art has been something I've been like casually doing for the last year, but I've been trying to like structure an approach that like made a lot more sense. So I was trying to find like a curriculum on how to do this when it's like a very just like loose thing. Was like super difficult to find. I mean, I feel like programming, there's like a bunch of roadmaps that you can see, like roadmap.sh. That's like, do you know, like, oh, you want to do DevOps, like, you find this. Or it's like I've seen this for like engineers of all sorts, cloud, whatever. It's like, oh, you want to do this? Like, okay, well, like, can you code? Do you have like basic operating system stuff? Can you script? Do you know how to do all this stuff? And that's kind of what I saw when I was coming up in my career. Was like, okay, like I can look at stuff and like maybe I have everything like above here, but I haven't really messed with like containers or making service meshes or cloud design patterns. So it kind of gave me like what to focus on. And so finding something for that with art was super cool, which is this. I think it's based off like Mark Burnett, who's a he was like a artist for Blizzard, who that's now like a full time YouTuber that like constantly tries to sell his art course, but I don't want to pay for that. I'd rather pay for like specific things. They broke down this thing that's like different terms and each like individual thing you're supposed to like spend a month on, which is kind of cool. What is, get that back going. So I kind of skipped ahead a little bit on stuff that I feel pretty confident about, and found this thing. Oh yeah, Mistress here. Let me see if I can. See him, yeah. I think I have another one. There was one over here. Yeah, he kind of like posted up on the stream right before. Dude's a massive cat. I keep forgetting just how large he is until I see other cats or like someone comes to visit and brings their pet. So I don't know why he's so big, but for whatever reason, whenever I like have a cat, it just gets massive. And he's not fat, but even I have a black cat that's hiding around here somewhere that's like way bigger than he should be. My mom actually has his brother and sister because they were like a litter and kind of like all got him at the same time. And he's like twice the size of like both siblings. It's really weird. I don't know what it is about me that like makes cats like go giant, but it's like becoming a reoccurring thing. Oh, but yeah. So I wound up like Proco going like looking and seeing here. Found a cool course on like making heads off of this guy who's like pretty sick. Dude has a really interesting style. Let me see if I can find. But it's like one of those few things where like he's like actually like a good teacher, which is kind of hard to find like in the art world. I guess it's kind of like tech. The people who are like really good at it probably aren't the best teachers. But I got a couple of his books. Wound up finding a course on here, and in about 15 days, there's this 100-day challenge where it's exactly what it sounds. In 10 days, I have to do 100 heads, with the idea that even if I'm not good at it, my 100th head's going to look a lot better than my first head. And they have this to the point where I can spend about 2 years of just working on art and kind of switching around different things. So I now know exactly what I will be working on for the next 2 years. One of my year goals is there's this really cool fantasy bar that's like not too far from me. That's like a kind of like a pop up where you go in. It's like a full tavern. There's like a guy in armor at the gate holding a like halberd, and he checks your IDs. Everyone like goes full on like LARPing. They kind of stopped doing this because tariffs affected their supply, but you would switch your money for like a bag of coins, and you'd go inside like the bar, which is set up like a fantasy tavern, and you could pay for like drinks like with like basically doubloons. But they have this cool thing with like a bunch of different like vendors and stuff where different artists, people, bakers, whatever, just come up and just sell kind of like whatever like they want there. So sometime this year, I'd like to make a bunch of like random ass like fantasy stickers and see if I can sell any of them. Yeah, I think I will probably just wait later to do any type of art shit because I do not have the attention span to do that and talk. So let me load up Megabonk. Alright, we're going to switch this. And let's see. So I have not played this at all. I have seen like one or two videos and I was reading the reviews and they were all kind of like warnings about do not play this if you do not have good discipline. It will eat your life. You will like procrastinate and do nothing for that, which sounded awesome for this weekend being snowed in. I always get got like when it's like a mobile game on your phone. Like if I have to if I can just pull it out whenever I'm like bored, or if it's even on my console, okay, like that can be a problem. I have that with like webcomics. I'll just get like sucked into it for like hours. Steam, there's no port of this yet. I have to go log into my computer, which is kind of out of the way. So I'm not really worried about that. Let's see. I have not played any of this. I have no idea any of this stuff. So I guess we'll go with first character. I heard it described kind of like a 3D Vampire Survivor, if you've ever played that. Which that game is the problem, where it's like the moment you get good at it, the shortest run you can do is like 30 minutes, and it's just like sheer dopamine being injected into your brain. Which is not great. Let's see if I can see that up just a little bit. All right. Let's check it out. I've also heard this game's like super jank. Yeah. I kind of like the retro style. So I guess it's like a auto clicker. Okay, yeah, I see now. So this is kind of like Vampire Survivors. My whole thing is, I guess, like choosing like weapons, trying not to get hit, but I'm not actually attacking anything. Like all of this is kind of like auto aim, so really it's just me like trying to avoid. Okay. This the jank kind of works. Alright. No, I should have gone knockback. Gonna say the one thing that makes me feel a bit better about like playing this is that tonight, or I guess this weekend, I'm definitely gonna be like tackling some other stuff. Jesus Christ. Upon hitting an enemy, clap their cheeks so hard it generates lightning strike. Okay. Yeah, this game's gonna be a problem. So y'all have any plans for this weekend? I know Dimdrick, you were saying that you were not going to, or you guys weren't getting like snow or anything. I know our Senator Ted Cruz is over in California trying to like hide from Texas right now. Oh, nice. Dude, I was into Magic of the Gathering for like a couple of years, but that's like one of the most expensive like random card hobbies I have. That whole like, oh, your cards like don't work anymore. You need to go to the next level, or you need to buy like the brand new set because otherwise like they're not like technically allowed. Yeah, no, my plans are pretty similar. It's basically just probably do this for like an hour or two. Um, oh, that's sick. Yeah, that was my main complaint with it because I really enjoyed it and like I got into it from like the video game, so you paid for that, and then you could just kind of like draft your own deck and everything, which was cool. Oh, nice. Oh, I found the boss. Yeah, I really should grind some cloud engineering too. I'm starting up on like a cert grind, so I want to be able to in the next 3 months have enough things ready. So if I wanted to switch to like a cloud job, I could. I'm thinking like that's probably going to be like one of the safest things with like AI and everything coming up. It's just like everyone wants to move to the cloud anyway, and like energy costs are like just becoming like crazy. Yeah, now even if you have money, it's so just out there. I recently got into like more TTRPGs, like board games and all that, and like $150 for like a base one. It's going up to like 200 in some of these. It's just like complete insanity. But you know, some of those games, I got the Haunting of Hill House. Just the amount of replayability and like novelty that's in each game is like just super cool. Dang. Let's see. Yo, this is chaos. Look at that. I'm better than 7%. That's cool. Spawn burger. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, if you can do like the document stuff, everything, that's a huge thing. I've realized a while ago, like getting a new job, it's yeah, there's like a base technical level you need to have, if that, but the amount of like crazy people that I've worked with that had no business like technically being there. If like you're just a cool hang or like good to like work with, like being the guy who does document things, it's so much easier. Um, yeah, I guess that's I don't actually unlock anything. Try it again. I don't know, my thing right now is generally when I can get an interview, I can at least get to the final round. A lot of times get the job offer. Um, but there definitely is. Do I only have 10 minutes? But now with just like everything filtered and not having like certain certs or your resume having certain things, like getting that is kind of like ridiculous. Oh yeah, I had that when I was first getting into like sysadmining, where it's like you're writing all these one-off scripts instead of like an actual tool that you could use to like solve everything like once. So I mean, it's kind of like do it in a getting your future self happy is pretty cool. Sorry, this game's just like spiking all of the dopamine. How's that consulting project going for you? Dude, I am just pressing stuff. I have no idea what the strategy for this is, but I just want to do damage and evade. I will say I do like this a lot more than Vampire Survivor. Oh, that sucks. I had a friend that happened to. I need health. I had a friend who took a job, and dude, every time I have a thought, it's just like look at the sheer amount of distractions on there. Yeah, one of my friends, he got like a job offer to basically be Magic Mike in Tennessee, and they were supposed to pay him like a shit ton of money and everything, and it was with a few like famous people. One was like in the metal circle, the other I think it was somehow related to Miley Cyrus. I don't remember the exact, but he basically like picked up and moved to Nashville to be Magic Mike, and was like the lead and like ran like shows for like 2 or 3 months, and like they just didn't pay him, and they were supposed to pay them all like $200-300 like an hour or something like insane. It was like doctor money to like just do Magic Mike. Uh, but after like 3 months of not getting paid, and them wanting him to like keep people on, it was out money, just like complete insanity. But at least with like consulting, you get like contracts and everything, so it should be guaranteed. But I do think it's easier to like get something irregular when you're like actively working. Okay, I think we'll just go damage. And regen, thank God. Let's evade. And let's not die. Sure. Okay, get some defense. Let's open this up. I will take it because I am dying. I also think I only have like 7 minutes, I guess, to like find the boss and survive. Yeah, if I had this on my phone, this would be a problem. Okay. Okay, we summon him. And I'm dead. I am let's see, 280,000th in the world. But number one among my friends. We'll try him out. Yeah, so my plan Wednesday is to do a normal, just talk about like books. Probably do like a mix of like art and Slay the Spire. I need to like better think out some of the art stuff in advance, because like suddenly going into like trying to draw like eldritch horrors when I've never done that before was not probably the best move. Um, Same thing with some of the takes. I was talking about it like I think before you joined, but ideally I could see, I could make these like clippable, but it doesn't really matter right now. But next, I think it's Friday. No, it's next Saturday. I will have my first like regular video back, and my plan is to have at least like one regular video a week. Um, I want to have more, but that's kind of like what I'm going to be committing to in the short term while I build the backlog. Uh, I have some bigger videos too that are like kind of in the works and plan that are going to be interesting to edit. But starting next week, I have had enough time to kind of like get enough script stuff on there, so I know at this point, for the most part, like every video I want to release this year, which I did not have that before. And while I enjoy doing those like comedy sketches, I want to get back more into reviews and doing things more along like that nature. It's not going to be just like pure books anymore. Instead, it's just kind of like everything that more interests me. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get a ship. But I'm pretty excited about it. A lot of like the random hobbies that I'm getting into, really, I just want to like video document those and have people get to like see what that looks like. So I'm like pretty excited, and a lot of the things I've been working on the last 2 months have actually been filming, so it'll be interesting just putting that all together. I wound up also deciding not to do this one video, so I'm gonna have to like rechange my video format upcoming, because what I wanted to do was have like this like alternating, like here's like a month of like training like a fantasy superhero, here's a month of like trying to be like Shalon, like kind of like a full-on art video. But my original plan for that didn't quite work, so I need to rethink that. And then now that I actually have like an art plan, maybe I'll do some stuff with what do you call it? Get the bow. Maybe I'll do some stuff like where I like film like the challenge, like the 100 heads, 100 hands, everything, because that's kind of like a clear just look at. I can like imagine um, like what that looks like in a video. So I do want to still have that be a part of the channel along with some of the other things. That like Sandre Berg movement app too. Like I had gotten like all the tricks that I could do like when I was younger down, and started working on some other stuff. But now that like I can like actually do a progression and everything, I think that I'll have some like kind of cool content coming out like around that. Damn. I feel like because that other guy did way more damage, it was harder. I don't have as many things like exploding on me this time. I would say it's skill, but it's 100% not. Okay, let's get some knockback. Upgrade the sword. Let's see, this isn't going to be this year's too, but kind of one thing I'm hoping is that I get my art skill up enough where I can combine it with like programming. On my bucket list, I do want to like eventually make my own like indie game that I think it would be fun to do like a mix of like maybe just like something that's fun, but then also something that's story based. One idea I did have, and I don't think I'll do it for the thing I'm currently writing now, just because I already have enough things I'm trying to like keep track of, which I have been fairly consistent with writing somehow with everything going. Is I like the idea of setting up. Let's see, let's get some knockback. I really like the idea of some of those games like Inscription or the developer for Doki Doki Literature Club has done this, where like they bring it like back into real life. Let's upgrade that. So like Inscription, amazing game, really fun story. But they have all these like glitches and like meta reality breaking things where if you crack the code, and there's some like really cool videos on this, they wind up like letting you go to an actual physical spot in the real world and like finding additional content. Yeah, we need more knockback. And so like the whole thing with that is like kind of like cursed video game, but then they actually like put a location to like where you could theoretically find the cursed video game. So I don't think I'd want to do that in the real world, but I love the idea of like setting up a bunch of hidden servers, and like kind of sneaking in like IP and stuff where like you would need some level of hacking skill in order to like actually access it, and then just like hiding like Easter eggs to everything. Oh yeah, dude. I feel like the moment you start getting into like that type of stuff and just realizing all like the really cool shit you can do just to like have fun with it, like it's big W. I always hate when I'm forced into like some custom like SSH like terminal and not able to use my own. Okay, I have 4 minutes. Yeah, we'll do this. I need to find that boss. I don't know, computers are cool, so it's like if you can do things that like make you feel like that, I feel like you're just so much more likely to actually like learn and do cool stuff. And like Linux I think is like really fun. If it wasn't for like video editing and games and like art software, like I would 100% like have completely switched to it. But I feel like we're not far from having like good software to like handle all that. Oh, was that not the boss? Okay, I see a big arrow. Oh, okay. We are learning as we go. Yeah, now if you're doing like infrastructure stuff too, I don't know how like deep you've gotten into like systems and Linux. There was a really cool book I have. I'll put a picture of it in the Discord. Um, that is like the Linux sysadmin's survival guide or something, and it gives you like a really cool cookbook of just like super fun things that like are helpful and kind of like a broad strokes. Like here's all the cool shit you could do. But getting like stuff like that and like learning how to like just optimize everything for you, seeing how powerful that is really cool. I like ran away from those what do you call it? Oh, what the hell is that? From like Windows only environments. Or like that like locked in Microsoft ecosystem. Oh, well, that's the actual boss. And I have 3 minutes, I guess. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm definitely doing better with like this character than I was before. I don't know if I have like enough time to really beat them, but we'll fucking find out. Yeah, the day this gets ported into like anything handheld, I will have a major problem. Good God. That shield was a good move. Yeah, if you're not into them, don't get into them now. Most of the times when I play a mobile game, it's like a indie port from something that like it wasn't designed just for mobile. I have gotten stuck into a few incremental games when I'm like on vacation, just to kill time, and like I regret it every time that I wind up doing that. Um, oh, we have two of them now. But there are certain games that got ported that were originally like PC games that like just work really well. So like I was playing Slay the Spire last time. They have that like as like a mobile game, and that's where I've played the most of it. Same thing with Balatro. So it's like generally, at least for me, I'll like get to a point where I've automated enough of my job that I just wind up getting a lot of free time to fuck around, which I could either use for like getting better at like creative stuff or studying. But a lot of times I wind up just like getting stuck, just playing. It's like, oh, I'll take like a quick break, and the next thing I know, like 3 hours have gone by. But I got really good at Balatro. Vampire Survivor was like a big problem where it's like I got that when I was like visiting family on the holidays and people were kind of doing their own thing. And it's like similar concept to this game I'm playing now, except it's 2D. And even though it's 2D, it is like a bit more like dopamine like frying. Um, but basically like this same general concept just flattened out. And then you're just kind of like stuck on these like 30-minute runs and looking up like how like fun like combinations and everything. For me today, just because I had already I was outside just putting my sprinklers up to not freeze in like the winter and everything. And last night I was like probably spent like 3-4 hours like working on the scientific stuff with drawing like heads and like more like academic level art stuff. I wonder what's going to happen when this goes down. I just wanted something that was like I didn't have to think. Oh, that's what that is. For the most part, though, even with like games, like I've never really gotten into like first-person shooters or games like this. Like they're fine every now and again, but there's like unless there's like a good progression, and a lot of times I need things to be story based to like get into it. I'm just like not gonna like super get into it or really want to see the point. Had a lot of like friends that were like, "Bro, don't you want to play Warzone, Call of Duty?" And I was like, "Dude, I can't spend 3 hours and like at least not get like a story like told." Jesus. Yeah, I think this run's about to be over. Well, it's a good run. Oh, that's insane. Yeah. Where even is the boss? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I forgot I got like an artifact that like froze time. Yeah, I was asking my brother if he had played this, and he said no, but he heard it was kind of fun but jank, which definitely tracks. But we moved up about 50,000 places. Yeah, what gets me is like traveling. Like if I'm on a plane and like I know I'm just not gonna have the attention to like do a lot on the plane other than like listen to like an audiobook or a podcast. I'll get something like this, and it's addicting. Let's see. Oh, that's how that works. Using. That's cool. All right, we'll use him again because yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, no, I had pretty good luck with him. So let's see how we go again. Oh hell yeah! Um, I really like life still, but okay, yeah, that's gonna be good. Good chunkers. Perfect. Okay, I probably want to try to summon that boss sooner rather than later. Nice. Because last time, like, I waited till that swarm got there, and that thing just takes forever to do damage to. Definitely need movement speed. I haven't gotten that, so... Don't know what I just hit, but I don't like the evil laughter. Oh, I can take fall damage. Damn. Get some crit. Ooh, straight damage. Knockback. Hell yeah. It's gonna be so hard going from playing a pure dopamine injection to like quietly doing art. Let's see. 7 minutes. I need to find that. Okay. I feel like it'd be on that hill. It's kind of a fun concept because I've played enough of these type of games where like so far the powers and everything are actually pretty standard for like this type of game. But just the idea of like turning it to 3D is like enough of an original concept that I feel like I'm playing something new. But even the orbits and oh Jesus. Was that the boss curse? Oh. Fuck it. Reroll. Shit. Okay. I now know why the boss curse was a bad idea. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like it's good for like setting stuff up, but you still have to like do all of the work. Try Fox again. That's cool, man. I think like the main like reason why I like AI is just because I can oh, is there? Level 1. Okay, maybe summoning him immediately is not a good idea. Okay, so we have learned to not summon the boss immediately. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping we get AI in my work just because I love using that just for documentation. I feel like it's so easy to just kind of like write out like the general idea. And I've used it for like personal stuff where it's like I will just word vomit um, for a while and then just like organize this. It's like tell me where it's bad. The one thing that I do think is kind of funny is that I was watching a video of a different YouTuber and they had a whole AI takeaway where it's like AI like summarize like how I would do this, and he was like a bigger YouTuber, so I had enough content to kind of get a feel for it. Um, but he had the same humor that I see when like I've used it to like rework some scripts, or sometimes I'm like, how would you take this idea that I have a script for and what would you do as like a punchline type of deal? And it's kind of like funny, interesting because like I now recognize like what ChatGPT's sense of humor actually is. Just kind of funny. It's very Reddit internet meta, but kind of like cringy. That tongue in cheek always has to have like the last word. Yeah, I'll take that. I feel like it tries to be ironic, but the irony of it being ironic just kind of makes like a weird meta joke that is kind of hard to play off, but it's still entertaining. I still need to make that Chat GPT wrapped video. I think I'm gonna work on that tomorrow. Yeah, we're going damage for this. Get some aura. Um, let's see. I don't have any projectiles. Let's increase that. And okay, I think I'm doing enough damage now where I can probably open that boss. Make it more. Jesus. Welp. Let's see. Alright, dude. Good hanging out. Like I said, next stream I'm going to shoot for Wednesday, and it'll be more of a traditional talk about books, all that, but I'll catch you later. Enjoy Magic. Okay, so I need some kind of speed boost before I tackle this boss. That or have like way more health shielding, all of that. Ooh, speaking of movement. Alright. I think I'm just gonna try to get some early shrines. If I can get some level ups, cool. Damage. No damage. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. The hell is that? Let's see. I don't know if I have like an epic one, if that's going to then like get rid of it if I switch to an uncommon. We can. Oh, nice. Regen would be nice, but I'm gonna go for damage because I'm moving a bit faster. Get some evasion. Be sick if I had some kind of a. Actually, do I only have 2 weapon slots? Oh, that sucks. Okay, some shielding would be nice. Let's see. I think there is a shrine up ahead. You can evade fall damage. That's insane. Yeah, getting like a damage evasion build. We're going movement speed, evasion. This is a game I saw a YouTube video on where they were talking about how just addicting and janky it is, but it has only been ported here. So I am playing it. It's kind of like Vampire Survivors, but it's you'll see in a second. It gets pretty insane if I can survive to it. But really, it's kind of like I have to find a boss, kill it, and power up and survive until then. But it's hard to describe the level of insanity that it actually gets to. Um, I got towards the end of one run a couple tries ago, and then I've been just kind of like messing around, trying stuff out until then. But you can kind of see here, I can summon a ghost, or like I can clap an enemy's cheek so hard that it generates a lightning strike. I think I'm gonna do a ghost just because I haven't done that before. But it's pretty wild. Let's increase the aura. I'll get some attack speed. Yeah, this gives me healing. You know what, let's see if we can just like tank this one boss. I can clap their cheeks so hard it summons lightning. Okay, and I think this summons a ghost, which will be interesting. Okay. So the other part too is that timer up here. Once that goes down, it starts really going crazy to the point where like I'm surprised the game doesn't crash. So I needed to find the boss and summon him. But it's kind of like a weird mix because if I summon him like way too soon, then I just die. So I kind of have to like find that balance of like getting like powerful enough to like not just immediately die, but also be able to kill them. Yeah, look at that speed. But this is like Vampire Survivors, so it's just kind of like pure it's brain rot dopamine. We'll get some evasion. But as you go, you like kind of like unlock things, so like the game gets like a bit easier the more you play it, and like there's a lot of like kind of random luck involved with this. So I feel like I'm in a pretty decent spot right now, so I need to go find the boss portal, summon them, and try not to die. But basically, like this game concept has existed before, but this is like the first time I've seen it in like 3D. Oh, nice. That should be super fun. How long is that drive up there? Damn. Damn. Let's see. I think I already have the future stage. Oh, okay. That's future. Yeah, how long is that drive gonna take? Oh, dang. That's not too bad. Are you guys getting hit by the snowstorms as well? Or is it supposed to be kind of like a chill drive? I am getting like a lot of good luck for this one. I learned I am not ready to use those things because they summon multiple bosses. Yeah, I really need to find this dude because I actually have like a pretty decent build right now. Wait. No! I just found you. Yeah, that's smart. Here, I think tonight it's supposed to get like pretty crazy. Um, so like if you're gonna traveling today, but it's supposed to just get like pure ice. I mean, it's like half an inch to an inch, which to Texas is devastating. I think as long as I can somehow manage to keep my power, it's fine. But if we lose the power, then that's going to be interesting. Oh, I did not want to do that. I like that. Let's see, what I really need is a shrine. And yeah, give me that healing. So yeah, this is where like the jankiness starts to come in. Once we see that clock go all the way down, then that's when it's like really crazy. But even now, it's like I'm glad I have a good computer because some of my older ones just would have absolutely like cooked it. Get some knockback. Do some more damage. Yes, get the boss over here. Increase the invasion. I am feeling pretty good about this run. I just need to hopefully kill these guys in the next minute and a half, because otherwise it's insanity and I don't know how this is going to hold up. But I keep getting cool things, so hopefully that fixes it. But yeah, after this run, even if I die, I'll probably stop the stream. My next stream, I'm going to have it a bit better planned out. Have it more focused on like actual meaningful content and not just me hitting my dopamine at full force in a gambling-esque type manner. I also have a bunch of videos that are currently scripted, and I have the shot lists and everything for that I need to start working on, because 31st is when the videos are going to start coming out again in a regular fashion. So, but nice. So now I think it's just literally survive as like long as possible. It sucks I couldn't do this with the first character, because I think that would be more interesting, but this is where it gets weird. I will say the healing does make it a lot easier. You can see how long I can just like not move. Yeah, and they can hit me. Let's see if more knockback helps. The last run, I was ranked 230,000th in the world, so let's see what they think about this run. Evasion. Although my first one, I was like, I think better than only 7%. Jesus. Yeah. That is what I thought would happen. Okay, cool. Well, thank you everybody for swinging by. Appreciate the chats and coming to hang out on this cold Saturday. Next stream is going to be Wednesday and Saturday, a bit more prepared and not just me kind of like fucking around. And hopefully I will have a fun mix of games, art, and talking books. I need to write down my thoughts on the most recent Dresden Files because I have a lot. I don't know if I'll make my own video based on that, but I will talk about it on stream and use that. And then pretty soon the Malazan stuff's going to come back, so hopefully we'll get Reaper Scale done with and I can move on with my life and try to finish the rest of the Malazan books and videos because I really want to do something big for that. But thank you everyone for stopping by and take it easy.